Alright. Oh my goodness, I just went on a rampage explaining why, for my second couple reasons, the second part of this little tangent I'm on that bothered me about the game, which is the combat that I'm gonna talk about in a second. But jeez, man, you don't understand. I just literally talked my ass off. I was just over here yapping, and my mic wasn't on. Anyway, let's try to do this again. Combat. There are some questionable things that I don't understand that the game did. Uh, with like the combat. So I'm gonna let my key down here. I can just reset, idiot. But this rules the game. This is what rules the game right now. Doing this right here. It's like it counters literally everything. Even someone, not Smash Rush, Kick Blast. Someone doing this. As you can see, I can start deflecting Ki Blast. I don't know why it's so inconsistent. I'm not pressing it back yet. I'm mashing this. I can still deflect Ki Blast. So even if you get hit, as you can see, the first one hit me. If you press circle, yeah, it's just you press circle right after that again while holding triangle. You'll still get the, and then go right back. You get the deflect right, and you'll go back into perception counter. So that means perception counter beats that. Perception counter beats this. Perception counter beats this. Perception counter beats this. Perception counter beats this. The only time you're going to get past perception counter is if you're grabbing or behind your opponent. And being behind your opponent is something you want to do anyway, because another change they made to the game is rush attacks can't be vanished. So this right here, 10,000 damage basically, and you couldn't vanish it. You can super counter it, but super counter is a lot more precise than Z countering. At least it feels that way, but it's also much more inconsistent. It feels. I don't know why, but this right here, unvanishable until that heavy attack, which is what you want to do, or at least what I find you really want to do in this game. You can string those in afterwards. You can mix up as much as you want on this right here. But even during this, that right there, that first hit, getting perception counter. I've had that happen to me so many times with certain characters, and I just don't understand why. 'Cause sometimes they won't be able to do that, and it'll be like yay or nay sometimes. But having to be behind your opponent. Oh, here we go. Perfect. For some reason, your character can get body locked on someone for sidesteps. So sidestepping becomes a non-factor a lot of the times when you're fighting someone doing this right here, because they can do this, and as you can see, it doesn't really take much ki. I could just sit here and do this over and over again, and because I'm redoing it, I'm getting the ki that I lost back almost instantly. And every time you activate this, it turns towards your opponent. So that means sidestepping, if you don't hit them before the next one comes out, that speed right there isn't going to cut it. Getting behind your opponent is going to be a lot harder because that's what's going to happen. And again, you can get body lock. That happens more often on the ground than in the air. I think it actually really only happens on the ground. I'm pretty sure I've had it happen a lot on the air too, especially against like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. His burst dash attack, it will just lock you in place pretty much. So when your invincibility runs out, you're just gonna get hit by him anyway. I've had it happen so many times where you try to when you super dash, because you know you can sidestep with some of the super dashes, so it's going to cause your attack to miss, because it seems like when you sidestep, it breaks your opponent's attack block, so they won't, you know, follow you with a combo as you would here, right? Because they'll like swing and miss and just continue on in that direction. Even a lot of times when you use like super dash and you do manage to hit, sometimes it just won't stay going, it won't stay locked on your opponent anyway if they like attempted to sidestep at all. Which is like, well, if I caught him, then how did my attack break lock? It doesn't make any sense. Grabs are pretty wonky. Sometimes it works just as intended, but a lot of times I will get this. I'm trying to go as slow as possible to try to replicate what happens to me sometimes. This right here. Now that's me pretty much timing it every time he gets it, but a lot of times, as anyone would do, mashing that shit like a crackhead. Even there, I was doing like mashing as hard as I could, as fast as I could, and it wouldn't grab. So that also feels very broken. So that could be a unreliable source to get past spamming this. As you could, and as I've shown, you can deflect Ki Blast if you're just mashing it. It'll just, the first one will hit, but since you're mashing circle 2 with it, it'll just start deflecting Ki Blast as well. And then as soon as that's over, you'll be blocking. You'll be perception countering or whatever. So that means anybody trying to use Ki Blast to, you know, ward off the perception counters, you're probably gonna get deflected right in your face, and then beat on, right? Or perception counter right in your, deflected back to your face, and then they just perception counter your next attack. I've had so many people where I've even fought them, where they'll just run up to me and do this. They won't even attack. They'll just do that. But back to rush attacks. That game's no key. That game's almost no key. So I'd have to do like this 3 times to get any key. And actually, let me change this too, so I don't lose my timing. When you're doing that, and I found that too. When you're in this game, obviously, you know, having played Tenkaichi 3, you know that you can finish your life, step in, and do to get another attack, or another chain in, and doing that is like the best way to get damage in the game. But it's a problem because it can be super countered, and people mashing seem to get that a lot. I've tried getting it consistent, and I have offline. It feels like I can do it almost anytime I want, but also feels like it works when it feels like it, because sometimes I would get it every time I tried, and sometimes it just wouldn't work, and sometimes I would even feel like I was off on the timing, and I would even see like more of their animation for an attack, and it would still give me a super counter, which is like, I don't get, because me personally, I'm not the type of person to just mash like a crackhead to try to get, you know, something to work for me, because I feel like when you do that, it messes up your rhythm and also prevents you from doing it. I feel like even if there isn't, you know, a punishment system for like spamming a button to vanish or not vanish or super guard, whatever, it just makes me feel like there is, so I don't spam it. So I'm very precise. So like, if I'm doing this, it's kind of like me playing Tekken trying to get a perfect electric, right? I will try to time it with the frame the attack lands. And so when I see it happen when I've thrown out an attack because I did it too early, and then the super guard still happens after that, it feels like I'm getting inconsistent, and it just works when it wants to work, you know? But back to the key gaining in here is crucial because you don't want your opponents to be anywhere away from you because they can do this. If you're beating your opponent up, they get skill meters so fast. They can pretty much do this like 3 times, and this costs 3. They can pretty much do this almost like they're actually in training mode over and over again in the span of probably about 10 seconds simply because you hit them. Now the problem with Ki comes in because when you're playing the game and you want to dodge, if you have the opportunity to, because you can't dodge rush attacks. Say I do this right here, right, and he dodges my attack. He will lose his Ki. In this game, if you don't have Ki, you don't have a vanish. So you're not going to dodge the attack, no matter how precise your timing is. Super counter will always work. Yeah, it will always work for the most part. You can even super counter revenge attacks, like revenge counters. I'll try to see if I can try to pull that off. Oops, I was super early. Let's see. And you want to do it? Oh my god, I got the computer to do this shit like back to back before. Now it's not. Oh, no wonder it's not doing it, because I'm stupid. You. Oh my god, I'm not ready for that. You cannot counter that. Any revenge, any perception attack, you're stuck at taking it. You have to, like, absolutely have to. You absolutely must. Yeah, I'm releasing this. I'm actually just being bad this time. That's just me being bad. But cause I'm talking for the second game. But perception attacks you can't dodge. I mean you can't dodge. I'm trying to see if I can get him to try to get it. He won't do it. You could banish that and or even Z counter it, or I guess super counter as it's called in this game in the old titles. So I find it questionable that you can't do it here because again, that rules the game. Perception rules the game. It pretty much beats everything, and you need to be able to get onto your opponent, or they're gonna have these to work with, right? And if they have those to work with, and you have to get into them, some of them give super armor. And as you see, using this just drains you a lot too. But this is such a vast map. If they get away from you, or if you knock them away, you're opening yourself up to get infinite Ki reversal. And because they can do, because that takes a bar, if you hit them and they do that right there, if you vanish that, they're going to win. Because for whatever reason, again, also, they took all of the uniqueness out of every attack. So if you manage to super counter, and I don't think you can block, vanish that. I'm pretty sure that just makes you block it. They just make you block it. I can't fucking super counter in my life. That you can't super counter. That for sure you can't super counter though. I know that. I don't know why. I need you to play with me, Vegeta, please.
Take this! Got you!
Well, he's not doing it.
That's it!
I mean, not yeah, super counter. Please, Vegeta.
Take this! Got you! Fool! Yeah!
I was gonna say you can catch revenge counter. Sorry that took so long. I don't know. It feels inconsistent. I feel like I could do it when I want to, but also if the game allows me to. If it doesn't allow me to, it just won't. I don't know why. It feels like the timing just randomizes. Oh, that was just early. I want him to get into a string. They usually typically do that. Let me see if I can do that. Can you do counters? I don't think you can. I don't remember. I was doing a lot of testing before. Maybe that's. Okay, there we go. That is the Z counter. That's the point. Z counter. It takes key to do. So if you don't have key, you can't do it. But as you can see, I don't know if you can see, but I'm pretty sure as people have been playing the game, they realize they're all on the same frame. So you lose a lot of uniqueness and a lot of, you know, mix-ups, because no matter if you hold left or hold up or hold down or hold right or just remain neutral, when you Z counter, it's all gonna attack on the same frame. So even someone like Ultra Super Trunks from the Cell Saga, he's gonna have the same speed of Z counter as everybody else in the game. And I don't know why they would do that, because that removes any type of mix-up. You can't do anything now. And on top of that, since you don't have great ways to manage to gain ki besides charging, which also opens you up to your opponent doing this and just having infinite ki, because again, you can't do anything about. I mean, you can't. You don't have to worry about ki when you're in max. You'll lose no ki for doing actions that require ki, and when that runs out, you'll have full bar ki, as you can see, full ki bars. So that means if you get into a Z Vanish chain with someone else that you're fighting, if you're not at max power, which you need ki to keep up, you're going to lose. It's just guaranteed, because they're not going to lose any ki from doing it, and you're going to be losing ki. So that means rush attacks should have given you more ki. That's like, it barely moves the bar. I lost more ki quick dashing than I did in 2 combos. I lost more than I gained in 2 square full square strings. So it's like, if you're not hitting your opponent like for a million attacks, you're not really gonna be gaining any ki. That's why you don't see a lot of supers being thrown out, because they don't have the ki to do it in a combo most of the time, unless the person you're fighting isn't all that good and you manage to get like really long combos off, which is what I go for when I play online, because long combos are the only real way to get ki without, you know, risking your opponent being able to do a 3-second skill that gives them full ki and probably super armor or something, you know. So they're basically unstoppable force, because they can Z Vanish infinitely and you can't, because you're gonna get hit if you run out of ki, and they have their ultimate available, and even if they don't get the ultimate off in time, they'll have enough ki to probably do a super on you. I don't know if you can vanish. I don't know how vanish works with anything else. I don't know if it's like strictly to stop people from being able to Z counter. But I feel like that makes no sense. That would be like actually stupid. Because again, what is your main your main attack in this game is your square attack, your normal rush attacks. You're gonna be doing that more often than anything. You're not gonna be fighting and just throwing out super moves every 5 seconds. That's not happening. If you do that, you're probably going to lose. That's like really bad strategy. So gaining ki so little, and then rewarding someone for getting beat up and giving them so many skill points or easy access to skill points, it just doesn't feel good. It's just so like backwards. I feel like if I'm beating someone's ass, I should probably be getting more. I'll say this: I don't think you should be getting uh, just more skill points for beating someone up. But if it goes up at a slower rate than what the person getting beat on is getting, even that is you know, better than just like almost no effect. It's just going up normally. Like it doesn't feel like you get any reward for it. There's no key and there's
What
no
the-
skill points.
Where'd
I
they
don't
run off
I don't
to?
understand why that's the case. Because again, if you don't have a explosive wave or something, you know, again, and you don't have skill points, you're in the someone's beating you in the back. You're done. That's it. If they do this, if you don't super guard it,
Sense their
you're getting blasted. That's 10k damage, practically, just for pressing square.
I can sense their
Right?
presence.
Let's go.
Oh my god, camera, please. Look at this. And you can, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this already, but you can get in, yeah, look, 10k damage for just touching your opponent from the back. Pause. Not being able to vanish rush attacks just makes that like so much easier to do, but also it's really hard to get super counters consistently
fate.
for
I
whatever
can
reason.
sense their presence.
So that's an issue.
Let's go.
But again, that also becomes null when this runs the game, barely uses any key, and for whatever
What the-
reason, sometimes when
Where'd they run
you
off to?
end your rush attack and you do a step in to continue it, for whatever reason, sometimes
What
you
the-
just
Where'd
get
they run off to?
countered anyway. Now, I'm not saying, you know, you're not supposed to be able to break that, because you can block it, and you can even try to mix it up by going up or down to mix in your step-in attack, or use a heavy,
But I can
which
sense
is
their presence.
probably preferred.
It's
I
fate,
typically
But I can
wait
sense their
for my
presence.
opponent the first couple times to see what they'll do. Then I'll mix them up with either a heavy attack or grab, or you know, whatever I can get off of the step in. Maybe might even
It's
step
fate.
in and
I can
sidestep
sense their
if
presence.
you know you think they're gonna you know, just go straight for an
It's
attack
fate.
instead of
But I can sense their
you know,
presence.
waiting for you to do something, or if they suspect you're gonna go for a charge attack or something, you know, whatever. But since this turns you, you just get
It's
counted
fate,
for free, and
But I
even
can
if
sense their
you
presence.
most of the time
Go.
outplay them and say they guess wrong and your step in attack works and you continue the combo, they'll probably get hit by the hit, the first hit, and then just precision counter you after that. You'll get hit by that, and then the next attack you throw in succession will just get precision dodge. And I don't see how that works either. It feels like incomplete. Oh, my cameraman, please, cameraman. It doesn't feel complete. Like, it makes the game feel like, you know, what am I trying to say? It makes the game feel like the mold isn't fully, like, fully complete. Okay, I said that already, right? Another thing, super dashes seem to fail a lot. I don't know why. When you're knocking someone away and you do a home, you're kind of locked into doing that, but you can sequence break it and then like go into a super dash. Most people will recover before that, but a computer won't really do that. So it's like what you're waiting for, to be honest, is for them to recover from the knockback, and then you'll be right behind them as soon as that happens. The problem with that is, again, super dash probably won't come out, and it costs a lot of key to use. It costs like a bar and a half, maybe a bar and some change. Yeah, about a bar, just about a bar. So, right there, it didn't even come out. I don't know why. Did I not have enough? Oh, I just don't have enough. Okay, so I don't have enough. I think this happened more often on like, I didn't really play any rules specifically, but in the story where you're playing Tournament of Power, you can't fly. Or I'm pretty sure this will probably happen to with like Yajirobe or something. When you're in the air, you should be able to still dash through the air like this, which it'll let you do. But a lot of times, this menu will be up, and you press X, it'll start grabbing. And it's like, I definitely see the menu there. It's there, you can see it, but you're not super dashing or burst dashing. So it's like, what's the problem there? How does that happen? Like, it feels like the game was just released in a bad state. We got everything down. They saw how cool the game looked at first, and then they immediately gave a drop date, and they were like, well, you got to get it done by then, so they couldn't polish everything. It doesn't feel good, bro. It just feels like really bad when I'm trying to do something like Super Dash and it's just not working. Speaking of Super Dashing, you can also delay the hit on that. Like, you can do it there and then like forward. A lot of times I see that too. When I Super Dash, I'll not even be holding L2 anymore, and I'll still get a charge. I don't know, I'm not letting me Super Dash. Oh, nice. And there we go, not letting me Super Dash. As you can see, you could delay it for quite a bit before you continue with the combo. So it's not you know, end all be all if you get sidestep, but typically when you're fighting good people, they'll probably be waiting for you to do that so you can sidestep. I also found that this kind of just catches them anyway. I don't know why, but you know, I guess maybe it just tracks better. I don't know. But that's an issue. Also, sidestepping, getting caught on bodies, also is problematic because you want to be behind your opponent, not only to actually be able to combo them without getting revenge countered, but also to avoid the God Slayer, that is perception counters. So that is a problem too. Grabs sometimes not working. I don't know why. It again makes the game feel very unpolished. It works pretty fine there. I don't know why it worked there, because I try to time it so it gives me this. And this is me kind of going pretty slow, but a lot of time you know when you're in a serious situation, you know you're trying to grab, you know you've pressed it like a million times, and then you're just not gonna grab. I don't know why that happens. Sometimes when you're fighting people from behind, I've had this happen too, they'll just randomly be turned around. Against the wall, it's more, you know, believable because as you're rotating, they kind of maintain their position, so it almost appears as if they're spinning around, but sometimes they'll just like fully get turned around. But a lot of times I've had issues where I've either burst dashed behind someone and hit them, and then like again try to follow up my combo, and then they'll just randomly be turned around. They don't have an animation for them turning around or anything. They'll be in the middle of an attack. I remember one time I was fighting my cousin and he burnt himself out while doing a beam clash, and I was behind him. He was still burnt out, trying to recover, and randomly just turned around. And he woke up, and you know, now I have an issue of perception out of nowhere in the middle of my combo, or you know, revenge counter, and I can't do anything about it because, you know, delays, whatever. Online, I will say the game feels pretty playable. There's typical lag stuff and whatever, but it feels decent. It feels like you can kind of play through it. You know, there's really muddy connections sometimes, and sometimes it will stop, like the game will just freeze for seconds at a time. But even on a bad connection, when it's like just running, you can kind of, you know, work with it. There might be delays or whatever, but it'll still be fine. The problem is sometimes this just doesn't work. Even if you hit them or they fail to block it, they'll just perception counter you right after that. So the lack of key gain, perception counter being way too versatile as a counter. Honestly, I rather that not be countered. I rather that not be countered. You know, regular rush attacks makes sense. Made a lot of sense. But fully charged heavy, like, and they just this right here, they're just doing this. and they stop my fully charged heavy, feels like I'm playing Xenoverse and someone's fishing for a bird block, right? Bird block don't fucking do it. Like, they're just waiting for that opportunity, and that's the only thing they're ever going to do, because it's going to be everything. It costs no key, and the more you press it, the more you're having a chance to perception counter wherever it is, and it also turns you every time it activates. So you'll be facing your opponent more often than not just doing that. It reflects Ki Blast because it'll count it as a block, a fucking circle input, so you'll be blocking anyway. And there's not very many ways to get around it. There's this, that sucks at long range. It's worthless at long range. Mid range, I feel like it has the best use because, again, if you're at close range, it will always send the opponent flying. Now you have the opportunity to charge, which also gives their opponent the opportunity to charge or do whatever they want to do. But that takes a lot of key, as you can see.
It's fate.
And
Sense their presence.
if you do that and you follow up with it, if they vanish you, that's it. You lost. They have more key than you, so for whatever reason, you're not gonna be able to. You're not gonna be able to keep the defense going. I don't understand why they made it so where you can't like vanish when you don't have any key. Because in the previous title, you could, and I'm not sure if this was only if you didn't have any key, but I'm pretty sure you could also trigger this to happen like on command, but you could vanish without attacking, even in a situation where you're vanishing like a heavy attack or a vanish assault, right? I'm pretty sure you could. I've seen it happen so many times, especially like Taz videos and like the super hard computer versus super hard computer, and they're like vanishing over and over and over and over and over and over again, to where at some point they're going around a key because they have 5 bars, and they'll just like vanish and be like about this range, but not attacking. So like removing that removes your, you know, defensive versatility, because now you're locked into a frame trap because it's all the same frames. And like, what are you going to do when you have less key than someone, or if you manage to knock someone away, can't follow up because you don't have key, and you say you're using someone like I don't know, Super Vegito has full power charge, doesn't he? I think he has full power charge. He doesn't have max, like power to the very limit, like say like Gogeta or something. Gogeta 4, I mean. So they pop that off while you're trying to get your key back. You use your blast stocks, and now they're at max power. So the next interaction you get, they won't lose any key no matter what happens, and you have to figure out what to do. And a lot of the times, again, they take like no time at all to get off, and I don't understand why that's the case. Like, let's watch this. It took like 2 seconds probably. Super dash, and now you have to deal with it, right? If you were charging up, or if you were also using a skill, if it didn't put you at max power, you're kind of screwed there. And if you don't have a get off me like super explosive wave, a lot of times when someone super dashes against you and they get you in the back, if you're not able to super guard them, you're screwed. If you're about to eat at least 10k, right? At least, you know, from someone that's good at the game, and they'll have like mix-ups for like trying to stop you from that. And I remember you could delay attacks, and that would like help you out in your mix-up situation. So you're not. You can kind of do it in here, but my thing is I haven't tested this on anything, especially not online, and I feel like, especially from the front, you're not going to get anywhere. That they're going to act out of this. They're going to act out of that. I'm pretty sure they're going to act out of that. I have a strong feeling that that's what's going to happen. So they remove a lot of a lot of your options with that, and then like again, kill your key gain, and reward you for getting your ass kicked. And I genuinely don't understand why they did that to such a degree where you could pretty much just do this over and over again in the span of like 10 seconds and just
Got a little something for you.
throw out whatever, right?
This is everyone's power.
It just makes no sense to me. I don't get why that was ever a thought. And then removing the ability to vanish what's it called? The rush attacks. Also, this as an option too sucks. There's no key gain, so using all of your key to do that, or any of your key to do that, because you're gonna lose way more key than you gain from hitting your opponent. And most people are mashing circle like actual maniacs, to the point where they'll probably end up going. You know, you can counter that by rushing circle. It'll also teleport you, so it's pretty much a waste at any given time, because even if you use it as a mix-up against someone that's not good, they're just gonna vanish it anyway. And since they're mashing this, they're probably gonna get a perception counter off on you immediately after that too, right? So like, it's everything was built around making perception the most overpowered thing in the game, and I don't get it. I think I've talked about pretty much everything that has to do with combat. Besides, you know, sometimes you'll super dash or sidestep someone and catch them, but since they were sidestepping just before you started attacking, they're not really in your attack, so it's gonna be locked off, so you're gonna attack past them at some point. Or even better yet, there's a time where you just, for whatever reason, lose control of your character, and like say you get knocked down, you'll just be stuck knocked down. And every time I've tried, like every time I've seen that happen, where I'm like, why won't my character recover? Why won't my character recover? I have the key, I have everything, I'm good. I'll go back to combo, and once I get to comboing, this will happen. Boom, 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 and then when I go to attack, it won't travel towards the opponent. Sometimes even after the first one, it won't do it. Or better yet, I'll hit my opponent clear as day. This will happen. Hold on. Lord, I had a little cough there. Yeah, you'll hit your opponent, and the game will just decide, well, no, you didn't. And even though they took damage, they were stunned, your combo won't progress any further, no matter how many times you press the button. So you'll be at a disadvantage, because now they're probably turning around with this right here. Again, this doesn't really matter, because they're just going to teleport, and you have less key now. So he wins automatically. Unless you can super counter it, which again feels super inconsistent. There's also this, I don't know if I talked about this yet, but that's a combo, but it feels like it doesn't make sense because you have to charge it to really get any tracking on it. And if you charge it, most of the time you'll overcharge because you have to be in their face for it to slight charge and still hit. So you'll either knock them down or just miss. I don't know if I had this in this one. I had made multiple attempts to talk about this bit because my headphones just turned off on me and I was like recording nothing. But a lot of times you'll get something like that when you're trying to jump attack, because I guess doing this takes off the lock in your attacks. So you know, it's pretty much useless. And then if you charge it to the max or perfect charge like that, it knocks your opponent down anyway. And that follow-up isn't me pressing back, it's just triangle. That's it. It's just triangle. So, well, I guess you can kind of do that, I guess. But a lot of times, as you saw earlier, it just misses. So I don't know what that. This makes it feel like, again, missing assets or something's wrong and it's just not complete yet. Like not where it's supposed to be. And you can't get that from flying either. I don't know why they took that out. I might be talking in a circle, so like, you know, ignore me if I am. But what else? Online, again, online environment, you know, connection could be rough and things you have to deal with are just gonna be things you have to deal with. But one thing I do absolutely fucking hate is I believe the standard controls are default, but when you go online sometimes, especially if you have classic controls, at least I think it actually works either way, honestly. Your controls will just change for your supers and your skills. So all your supers will be triangle, even your ultimate blast, and all your skills will be circle. So you will miss out on one of your skills because they're both assigned to the same input, which is like, I don't know how that slips the cracks. But again, if there was a demo where everyone was able to play, or a beta we all play online, this would have been found, you know? And I get, well, some games come with issues like that. Well, this is supposed to be a Tenkaichi game. Again, they had the formula already. This is something they already had the formula to. They just rebuilt it, right? I don't think they used it. Pretty sure they said they didn't use the same system, right? Or someone got some source that said that they didn't use the same system, but rather took that system and rebuilt it from the ground up. So it's not like it's the exact same, you know. But either way, you know what you're working with. You know what you want to be happening. This right here, this shouldn't happen so consistent. I shouldn't be able to just show it happening. That should be like, at worst. As you can see, I'm on his right side trying to go to the right, and I can't even go be like to the right. That shouldn't be something I can just go up and fail, right? I shouldn't be able to just knowingly fail this. I shouldn't be able to do that. So it makes the game feel completely unpolished, and it makes no sense for that to be the case. Also, there are some characters that, like, especially Gohan, because I main Ultimate Gohan for the rank. I want to do single player. I don't know if I said this time around when I was trying to do the recording or not. But point blank range, his Ki Blast whip. This close. I don't know if Goku has it. Goku doesn't have it. Goku doesn't have a spin attack that changes your character's facing direction. With Gohan, I typically like to go all the way up, you know, do my thing, and then get it twice, where it'll flip your opponent around, but the next input will flip them back. You shoot a Ki Blast after that to try to continue that combo. It's just too late because you missed. I don't understand that, why some people miss Ki Blast point blank range. I don't get that sometimes. It's weird. Talked about the controls being weirdly affected. I talked about Super Dash not working, so it, you know, erases some of your combo potential and options, and you know, probably throws you off your game. And if it does work or comes out unintendedly, you just lose Ki for no reason. Another thing I don't like is size of blast. Of course, everyone's gonna have that issue, or gonna know that issue from people.
Got a little something
But
for you.
this
Is everyone's
looks
power.
nice.
The Spirit
The
Bomb.
Spirit Bomb. That's so small. Why is the Spirit Bomb so small? You go and look at where are you? There's that guy.
My
This guy.
turn now.
Oh, you don't have a
And get ready to see
Also,
my
from the back,
real
you know, getting
strength.
hit from the back, this Goku, he's screwed. He has a super guard, or he's not doing anything because he doesn't have a get off.
Send me
He
your
doesn't have
energy.
this looks amazing. Look how great that
It's
is.
ready.
And then that looks good right there. But then it's just a little bomb.
Let's
Little spirit bomb. Looks so small when you throw it. Like, Tenkaichi 3 had big balls. No homo. Like, it was just, everything was, it seemed fitting. You know, again, displaying that world-breaking power that we were talking about. And now all of a sudden, it just doesn't. None of the attacks are that great when it comes to, like,
Now I'm your opponent.
extremes. Good example is Gohan here. A lot of the attacks look really good. Like, look at this. I'll do this for example. Great startup. Yep. Really pushing it. Boom. Looks great from here. Boom. Beam was great. Turn around. It looks so small. Looks like he's getting hit. Looks amazing. And then it's just a fart after that. I don't get it. Where's the actual impact of this attack? It kind of just like poofs into nothing. It almost feels like you know, nothingness. And then you have like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, his ult, it completely engulfs you. You get an outside view of it too, and then it kind of just blows up too. But it feels more impactful because there's, you know, more frames, more impact frames. Then you have something like this. I don't know if you have this. Do you have it? Let's find out. I think his super probably now kind of just beam and it just hits. I think Goten is the one I'm thinking about, where it hits and sends the opponent upwards, so it kind of like curves them up and they blow up. But this is what I was talking about. Anyway.
Ready.
Gohan has an ult that I actually really like, the uniqueness it. But look at this. Beam, beam, bam. Now watch this. Big beam. Nice big beam. Look at that explosion. That actually feels like there's something going on there. The end kind of wonky because there's no real explosion after it kind of just like turns in the dirt, to dust, and then like that's it. I wish it like blew up. Like that blew up. That looked amazingly good. Like the effects there. And then you have Frieza.
Now, allow me to continue my vengeance. Tremble before my
I
power.
didn't plan this out, by the way. I kind of just was testing some stuff with other things with these characters, and I found something else.
It's high time you had a taste of the power that can destroy
Frieza
the
makes his
stars.
ball. That looks pretty decent. You know, when he balls it, this kind of looks great. But you can see the explosion. It looks like you can see the radius of the explosion kind of from back here. And it looks pretty good, but it doesn't feel like as explosive and destructive as the Tenkaichi 3. Because it's a giant flash, that kind of seems like very controlled, you know? And it could be me, like, you know, just like trying to hate on the game. Maybe I am. I don't know. But I think maybe it's the flash of the attack in the previous game, and the shaking in the camera and stuff. If there wasn't any, maybe I might be bugging too. But see how that feels so like blank.
Thank you.
Feels like I'm missing something there. Now that, see this right here looks really cool. I really like this right here. Destroying this part of the map and like opening it up to the water on the other side. That's amazing. Why does the explosion look so weak, you know? I'd expect this whole area covered in burns, I'd expect that from like one attack in a Dragon Ball.
Running away, are we?
That looks like something one Death Ball should be, but if I show it right here.
Tremble before my power! It's high time you had
Throw it
a
right
taste
here.
of the power that can
Try to aim it
destroy
in
the
real
stars!
It's like the ball itself is not even a third of that.
Running away.
And look at the impact. It's kind of just like
You're
this little
not
small
here.
radius.
Oh, thank you kindly.
This little small patch. My power, me powering up kind of fills that gap.
Tremble before my power!
And it's like they're supposed to be shooting these world-ending blasts. Mind you, the destruction of the planet kind of just sucks too. Like not that right there. I mean like the scene, you know, the cutscene of the planet being destroyed. Because you can kind of a little poop in the background. It doesn't even look like a real attack. It kind of just looks like, you know, this right here. in the background goes off,
Running
and
away
then the
now.
planet just starts erupting out of nowhere.
Oh, thank
And that's
you,
only
kind.
on Namek. Mind you, only Namek. So it's like the attacks feel kind of weak compared to like the other games.
Yeah.
You don't really have much impact on a lot of these. And then you like, and I'm not saying they don't look good. I feel like they could have just been way better. Why can't I switch? Whatever. Let's get back to short hitting.
Tremble
I
before
think
my
Freezer-
power. It's high time you had
I
a
can't
taste of the
remember.
power that can
Oh,
destroy the stars.
okay. The scene, like the scene of that looks
You
amazing.
can't escape me anymore.
And see the impact on that looks a little bit better than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, I think. And then you have like,
Now it's mine.
oh, that's the wrong Goku, man. What am I looking for? Oh, Bardock's not on here. I took him off for Goku, I think, and I went to stage selection like a fool. If you look up Bardock's ult, or like any of, I think the other Super Saiyan 2s in the game's ult, besides Vegeta. Okay, just Gohan. Okay, Gohan and Goku. Adult Gohan. Their beams look something like you would expect to see from Gohan, from Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. I'm gonna use Bardock specifically because you know he's not Super Saiyan 2 Bardock. You know, it's
I'll
it's
take
Bardock
care of
as
this.
well. It's just regular Bardock. And for whatever reason, Bardock, his ult looks so good. Oh, that pisses me off.
Change
So
everything.
stupid. Like in terms of size, I mean.
Great as well.
It's just like, it feels like a big ass Dragon Ball attack. I'd expect that from Super Saiyan 2 Team Gohan. And then have like a giant explosion that has something like the mixture of Super Saiyan Team Gohan's ult and Frieza's like ult just hitting the planet and blowing up, and having more impact frames like how Gogeta's ult, like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's ult is. And it's just like, I'm not saying everything looks bad, but it feels like those things should have been like way better. I feel like I'm getting more from Tenkaichi 3 when I look at that.
Change the future.
And again, yeah, a lot of the ults are like beams and stuff. But again, you look at Gohan, and the start, the presentation and everything looks amazing. You're shooting the beam, you're seeing it from this perspective, that looks amazing. That kind of looks cool, but then it looks like small. Then they engulf him, and it looks so cool. There's a couple like, you know, sparkles or whatever, but then the frame where where it's showing the explosion, it looks so weak. It looks almost like a regular attack went off. It's kind of like that, but double. Like it felt like nothing almost. Like it was so bland almost. Then there's other things. There's character files that have been data mined that show like almost every other character that we didn't get in this game. King Vegeta, for instance. Nam, you know, Demon King Piccolo. The game feels so incomplete when, you know, it has the series that were in the last title, but not all of the characters from those arcs or those series. How do you like? It makes the game feel really incomplete when you have almost every GT character that was in the last game, except for one of the main villains of an arc in that in the series of GT, Super 17, but everyone else from GT. You have Gogeta and Janemba, but you don't have Pikkon. And Pikkon's not even just from the movie, he's also in the fillers. So it's like, you take him out, but he's in the files? You take out Supreme Kai, who has a model in the game, and who's perpetually, like, pissed off for whatever reason. He just looks so annoyed, and he doesn't get to be playable. They have his model. They have again. I mentioned they have a whole grade 8 model for Kid Goku and his ult. I don't know if it's different from Vegeta's. It looks different to me, like slightly. There's a couple things that look better than Vegeta's to me on that on his ult 8. But grade 8 Baby is far superior to both of those. And then they tease us with the naked grade 8 Vegeta representing Kid Gohan's grade 8. And I'm pretty sure there was something in the files about, I don't actually know, because me and my cousin were talking about it, because he was the one that brought it up to me. It's like all these character files, it feels like the game is incomplete. There's no reason to leave out Python. You know? I don't think this was a give or take situation. I feel like they were just like pressured to release the game because the feedback, regardless of what other people, like, you know, anyone giving criticism was saying, everyone giving criticism was saying, the larger YouTubers or larger promoters were just like, oh my god, this game is perfect. They were like pushing it as the like best game already, to the point where I feel like the publishers were like, hey man, let's get this out like now. So like all the ideas that they probably did have never came to fruition whatsoever. So maybe the game would have been a little bit more polished, you know, I wouldn't be able to just walk up and get into the situation automatically. Maybe the outfits we would have had would have been there. Because people have already modded Gohan with the Bojack movie game, which I'm assuming means that it's probably in the files, right? I mean, it makes sense. If they were able to put that on and it'd be like actually now my cousin told me that they did that already. So if they're doing, I've seen the Gogeta 4 with the alternate skin, so it's like, if that's not in the game, where no one in this game has a alternate color at all, not even the new characters or the old characters, it's just outfits and that's it. And then they're missing outfits too. Like, I was expecting to see Batman, Vegeta, or, you know, licensed Goku and Piccolo, the guys when they were trying to get their license, you know. I wanted that stuff. I wanted to see maybe a Metal Cooler that looked something like the Giant, you know, even if it was only a small Metal Cooler. And I would even take a Giant Cooler too. I would really like that too. No colors means no Super Saiyan 4. You don't get the Oob alt, which looks like even better than his original, or Kid Trunks' alt, which looks better than the original to me. Goten and Trunks actually don't even have alternate costumes either, like at all. It's like kind of ridiculous. I guess I should go ahead and wrap this up. Overall, there's too much things in the game combat-wise where it consumes so much ki. But the only real way to gain ki is to charge ki. And if you charge ki, you're leaving yourself open, but you're also giving your opponent an opportunity, if they have something that you don't, to instantly reach max ki. Because if you're beating your opponent, regardless of if you're winning or not, kicking their ass, once you go to charge the ki, you're leaving them to do whatever they want, and they're gonna have more blast skills than you. This runs the game, it beats Ki Blast, it beats everything. The only thing it doesn't beat is grabs. Grabs come out inconsistently, so do superchards. Can't advantage rush attacks. It's wonky when you're like up close, or when you're just sidestepping. Sometimes it just won't even work. Sometimes you'll hit and it'll just stop the combo. Sometimes you'll hit and it'll lock off. You will just be attacking forward. Sometimes you'll... It's too much, man. I feel like this game, they took this shit out well before it was supposed to be done. Like they had the ingredients, they had everything, they even had the cook time. They just took it out early.